Today we have a close look to who owns Bitcoin. Quite an interesting question. Where's the future market? People don't own because we just bet on the price, but who owns it? And stay tuned up until the end of the video because we have a close look into details, what's going on. Besides this, if you like the channel, subscribe, give us a thumb up, we like this. And besides this, we have to talk about Bitcoin. What happened? We had on Monday night a flash crash from 44 down to 40. What happened? 2 o'clock at night, Central European time, was about 8 o'clock in Shanghai. So it happened in the Far East. And a lot of people say, yeah, it was profit taking. I don't think so. It was on purpose dumping the price, because when you do this, Europe is sleeping and America is going to sleep and you have no liquidity in the market. You do it on purpose in order to dump the price. This is actually what happened. But interesting enough, Bitcoin recovered quickly back to 42, and we will later have a great look into all the details about it. Before we do this, we look to the overall market. S&P 500, quite interesting picture today. Big tech companies, Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Google, Amazon, Tesla, Meta, all in the red. Transition is taking place where it really went well. 46%, the Nasdaq #1 performer this year in 2023. So a lot of people take the coins off the table, I would say. Well, let's here check the Bitcoin. Bitcoin 41,317. I opened the candles on a weekly base, 8 weeks in a row. We closed green. Now this week we are red, but the week is not over. So maybe number 9. We will see. Anyway, it's not really that something happened on the Bitcoin. It's a little bit sort of consolidation, and we see the same thing on the market capitalization. We are still on 10 with over $800 billion. So halving clock. 127 days we have to wait. It's going to take place April 17. And now we come to the first topic. Google policy update allows ads for US crypto trust. This is really important. Up until now, it was not possible to make advertising with AdWords or whatever on Google for crypto products or Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever. Now they changed regulations. It's possible. So why do they do this? I believe there's a lot of talk in the background between the big investment companies, the SEC, that it will come in January, the ETFs. And obviously, when BlackRock comes out with an ETF, Google cannot say you're not allowed to do any advertising. So this is a very, very strong sign that we will get an approval maybe in January. And for this reason, we quickly check our data. And meanwhile, it's about 13 or 14 applications. The SEC has to make a decision, and it's still the same situation. ARK Invest has to be decided from the SEC in January 10. And there are only 2 options. Either they don't allow any ETF overall. That's more or less what it is, I'm pretty sure. Okay, fear and greed, 67 hours, 77, so all in the greed zone. Sentiment is positive. Heat map today, quite a mixed picture. Interesting, market dominance is going up and up for the Bitcoin, 53%. Open interest is going also up. CME on #1. And we see what happened on the liquidation front yesterday. I opened it up a little bit bigger. This here is called long squeeze. A couple of $100 billion went crazy yesterday, I'm pretty sure. This is when you bet on the wrong side. And here we come to a spot, 51 million. And this is something now we have to talk today. Who owns Bitcoin? We spent quite some effort long time ago checking the blockchain, what's going on there. And we have quite valid data about who owns it. And it's quite amazing what you will see now. First of all, only 155 addresses control 66% of a Bitcoin, meaning 13 million Bitcoin, which is only 0.3% of the total addresses from 51. So that means this is not an open market to everybody, definitely not. It's still a very much elite market. I said it in a lot of videos before, and this is not good and it's not healthy. So for this reason, it's very good when the spot ETFs come on the market and everybody can participate more or less in the Bitcoin. And there is another thing which is very important. When you look on the graph underneath, balance on exchanges, this reflects the same situation. Only very few people control the Bitcoin market. Just a bit more than 2 million Bitcoin are available on exchanges. All the rest is under control from a couple of wallets, as we just saw, and they are not willing to sell. I mean, over 80% of the Bitcoin have not moved in the last 12 months. They're just sitting in cold wallets. So if a run comes on a spot ETF or approval comes and a run comes because they have to buy physical, it's most likely that we see quite a strong increase in price. Hash rate is going up. Bitcoin production cost is meanwhile about $19,000. Google Trends is going up. More and more people are interested in news about the Bitcoin. This is also very much related, I guess, about the fantasy of the ETF. Something else is the aggregated trade volume. Very good in the last week. This is on a weekly base. We saw for the second time in the last couple of weeks that we jumped into the yellow zone. This is so important. We need much more trading volume in order to have a stable bull run coming. And here we come to our trend following indicators, and the middle graph is the most important. It's the MACD and identifies very clearly that the bull run started. And because, as you can see on the graphs, these crossovers to the upside and downside, that doesn't happen very often. This is a very strong indicator how it will go on. And another thing is the RSI underneath, we are only in the region of 61%. So we are not overbought and we are not oversold. On the other hand, be careful. Our short-term indicator says, yeah, there could be another drop to $39,000. Coming to our forecast models, last week a bit sort of obsolete because price was much higher. Now we are perfectly back on track. Our model is here. The first one about 41, the red line. The second one is about 44, black line. So all our models, which we started to predict 1.5 years ago, are perfectly on track. The 50 days and 200 days looks very strong since we had this golden cross to the upside. Short term, we are now on 2, so we dived in a little bit into the moving averages. This is only for short-term investors, not for long-term investors. Maybe a good time, because of a drop in price, to accumulate again. So, not much happened to the Bitcoin. Stable around about 42. I think we will go sideways up until December end and beginning of January. Everybody's waiting on the decision. This is what it is. So we will be back on Tuesday. I hope it was valuable information. Would be great to see you again. Thanks and bye-bye.